conectando las bolas y los strikes. Pat Herbert en la primera, Maury Foster en la segunda y Rod Gray en la tercera. Pausa comercial y regresamos con el inicio del encuentro aquí en la 860M ESPN Deportes Radio.
Best seasons of his career, leads the majors in ERA. Age, experience, and wisdom all come together in Game 2 of the series, and it's all coming up next.
We've got a night game here on a Saturday night. We're coming to you from AT&T Park as we get ready for Giants baseball, Game 2 of this three-game series, Giants and Mets. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me, as always, is Mike Krukow. Well, the Giants are playing great, and one of the reasons they've won 40 games is because of what Tim Hudson has done this year, and this should be a fun matchup tonight.
Well, it really will be when you consider that there's 405 victories between the two guys on the hill tonight, Bartolo Colon and Tim Hudson, both elder statesmen in this game. When you talk about Hudson, his ERA is under 2. I mean, you talk about a great pickup and somebody who really has solidified this Giants rotation. He has been that guy. So tonight he takes the ball against the Mets. He's 17 wins lifetime against these guys. He knows them well. This should be a fast-paced game. Let's get it on.
All right, let's get it on. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the very first pitch from AT&T Park. We'll have all of that right after these messages.
Comcast Sportsnet Bay area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, back here at AT&T Park as we get ready for Giants baseball. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open every day. 60 degrees here at the yard. You see the winds are very calm. Humidity at 72%, and it is clear. The lineup that'll be facing Tim Hudson, it goes like this. It'll be Den Decker to lead it off, followed by Daniel Murphy. He can swing the bat. David Wright will hit third. Then it's Granderson, Young, and Duda. Tejada is going to be in the 7th slot. Then Recker, and the pitcher in batting 9th is Bartolo Colon.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the veteran right-hander Tim Hudson. 12th start for Hudson. 6-2 on the year, the 1.75 ERA. When you take your bats against him, you're going to see a sinking fastball. That's his backbone. He will cut it. Curveball, slider, changeup, split. Go get him.
And the first pitch of the ball game is a foul straight back as we get started right on time at 7:05. See the numbers for Den Decker in Las Vegas. Here he's hitting .182 in the big leagues, and he had a hit in 4 at-bats last night. And there's a little flare down the left field line and out of play. It's 0-2.
Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Tim Hudson tonight for the Giants. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Colvin, Pagan, and Pence. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side of the infield. Hicks and Morris on the right side. And Buster Posey will be in the squad.
Low to Den Decker. Murphy, a left-handed hitter on deck, and then the right-handed hitting David Wright. The 1-2 pitch is down low. Joe West behind home plate. Pat Hoberg, Marty Foster, Rob Drake.
And you'll see some low strikes tonight. West has a very low zone, but he is a guy that will look for strikes if the pace is quick. And this should be a pretty quick pace tonight between Hudson and Bartolo Colon.
And this is rolled foul, so the count remains at 2-2. There's David Wright, the longtime Met. Probably retire as a Met, and I think that's the way both parties wanted it.
Well, he is Mr. Met. Mainstay in that rotation or that lineup for a long time.
Hudson fears his soft line drive, and that's how this game gets started. And it's 1 out.
That's one of the weirdest plays for a pitcher, because in the back of your mind, you're always expected that somebody's going to bring a flame right back up the middle of the box, and every once in a while, you jam a guy and he sends a changeup back at you, and it's just a weird play. You expect more than you get. Hudson in pretty good position to field his position after he throws it.
So here's Murphy. Murphy 1 for 4 last night. He hit one into the arcade, and that was the only 2 runs for the Mets last night. Here he takes a strike. He's 5 for 22. That's the history between Murphy and Hudson.
Now there's just no one way you can pitch Murphy. He's a good hitter. Got great balance in his approach.
And this is a fair ball. So Hunter Pence is going to dig it out. It almost looked like Pat Hoberg changed his mind 2 or 3 different times.
Really hugging the line as it goes just about over the bag.
Yeah, it hit the bag.
So an easy call for Hoberg, the first base umpire, as it almost hits him. So just like that, the Mets get a runner in score position.
So here's David Wright. David Wright last night went 0 for 3. He's faced Tim Hudson a lot. 77 at bats. That's not including walks or sacrifice flies. He's got 18 hits, 2 doubles, and 3 career home runs off of Tim Hudson. I would say these guys pretty much know each other very well when it comes to competing.
Oh, you face a guy 77 times, you're going to know everything about him. He's going to know everything about you. You definitely know where the hot spots are, and you know where the holes are.
Hit on the ground to Crawford. Crawford gets to it. On the play, Murphy goes to third. And that'll bring up Curtis Granderson.
Oh, he really turned that sinker over. That had big movement working its way back into the right-handed hitting David Wright. And Hudson is pretty creative with that sinker. I mean, he can add size to it, take a little speed off, put a little on. Got a nice feel.
Granderson last night went 0 for 2. Giants put the shift on for Granderson. And he goes around on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Granderson has faced Hudson 6 times in his career. He's got 1 hit, and the 1 hit was a home run. And that's low and away to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Granderson is a guy that likes to beat you middle away. He likes to get extended.
Outfield straightaway, infield very much to pull.
A back foot slider almost hit the left knee of Granderson.
Nice lively Saturday night crowd here at the ballpark. Two and two.
Good changeup. So 4 pitches, 1 fastball that he threw way off the plate away. 2 back foot sliders, and here a perfect changeup. And he gets Granderson way out front. Get it, a hitter to reach like that. You've done a nice job.
Blocked by Buster Posey. It's now 3 and 2.
Nice block. Chris Young waiting on deck.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the walk.
All right, time now for our Geico quote. This one comes from Tim Hudson on his great start to the season. He says, well, there comes a lot of luck with it. I'm just throwing the ball and missing barrels. Well, that's an easy way of putting it. But it's so much more than that, my friend. And he is indeed a very modest man, and you can tell from that quote.
So here's Young. Young came in the game yesterday on a double switch. He ended up with 1 at bat, and he went 0 for 1. Here he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Young and Hudson have gone at each other 8 times, and Young is 1 for 8.
I'm a little surprised that he's hitting ahead of Lucas Duda, who's on deck, simply because Duda's had really good numbers against Tim Hudson. But I think Terry Collins wanted to do righty-lefty, righty-lefty.
And that's off the end of the bat, off of Posey. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Chris Young is streaky. He's got some holes in the swing, but when he gets hot, he can really put up some numbers, and he's got as much power as anybody on the field. We've seen that firsthand when he was with the Diamondbacks, and remember some of the long home runs that he hit against the Giants.
Murphy at third. Granderson is at first. Granderson goes, and Buster Posey bluffs the throw, and Granderson will come up with his 5th steal of the year. So it's 2 balls and a strike. Just underway here at AT&T Park. Hudson about to throw pitch number 22 in the inning.
That's a lot of pitches for him in 1 inning. And he keeps missing in the same spot. He's right down there below the strike zone. Now it's better to miss below the strike zone than it is above the strike zone if you're a sinker baller. The one thing Hudson does not want to do is set it up for the guy on deck, because Duda sees him well. He's got good numbers.
So it's 3-1 to Young. Popped him up. Side retired. Nice job. Hudson works out of it. Mets strand a pair. Pagan, Pence, Posey coming up. And let's take a look at the Giants starting lineup, and it's brought to you by Coors Light. It'll be Pagan, Pence, and Posey. Buster Posey, 5-game hitting streak. Sandoval will hit cleanup. Then it's Morris, Colvin, and Crawford. Hicks in the A slot, and then Hudson 9.
On the hill tonight for the New York Mets will be the 15-year veteran Bartolo Colon. Colon, 5'11", 285-pounder out of the Dominican Republic. He is making start number 11, 5-5 on the year with a 4.52 ERA. And this guy has got one of the shortest arm deliveries in all of baseball, and it gets on you quick. He still runs it up there at times mid-90s, but you're going to see something right around 90. He will sink and cut the fastball. He's got a good hard slider and a changeup. He'll throw anything, anytime. He has tremendous command.
And here's Pagan, and Pagan's going to take the first pitch in tight. Not many Giants have had a lot of history against Bartolo Colon. It's kind of odd, but and a strike to Pagan. 1 for 5. Pagan is against Colon.
It is odd. You figure he's got 194 lifetime wins, and 2 of them were against the Giants. He's 2-1 lifetime against the Giants.
That could have been in 1940.
41 years old.
Foul back, 1-2.
Let's take a look at the Mets defense playing behind Cologne, starting in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Young, Dendecker, and Granderson. That's your outfield. Tejada and Wright on the left side. Murphy and Duda on the right side, and Anthony Recker will be in the squad putting down the signs tonight.
One and two to Pagan. Pence on deck. Now Pagan steps out. Pagan last night went 0 for 3. He did score a run. And he rolls this one up the middle. Tejada juggles it. And with that, Pagan's going to beat it out. Doesn't take much at that position if you got a guy that can run a little bit.
And watch the backswing of Pagan. Not a very big one. He's getting out of that box well. And we're going to turn on the Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, and watch the exchange from Tejada. It's a little sloppy, and once that happens with Pagan's speed, it is too late. Take a bite out of it. It's going to be an error on Tejada.
And here's Pence. Pence 0 for 4 last night.
Bartolo Colon, not an easy guy to steal off of. Very quick to home plate.
In the dirt to Duda, but Duda digs it out.
And the move to first base, a pickoff move, it's very abbreviated, small circle. When his hand breaks his glove, it gets in throwing position. That's about as small a circle as there is in the game.
And a called strike to Hunter Pence. 2 for 3 lifetime against Cologne. He does have a home run against Cologne.
You look at the percentage of fastballs that he throws, and almost 85% of what he throws is going to be the fastball. But that tells you half the story. With the fastball, Cologne is an artist at two-seaming and four-seaming the ball. One will cut, which will run away from a right-handed hitter. One will sink, which will run into him. And he'll mix speeds. You'll see the fastball go from anywhere from 86 to 94 miles per hour, depending on what he wants to do.
And a base hit to left field.
All right, time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. Last night, Buster Posey, a 2-run home run in the 8th inning. That's a tie ball game, 2-2, a 1-0 little slider. And this is what he does. He hits his 8th home run of the year. And the Giants would make that lead stand. And that is our Togo's big play the Togo's way.
.272 for Buster Posey. The home run last night is 8th. 29 driven in.
The backdoor two-seam movement at 88 miles per hour, paints it on the outside corner. And that's a pitch, if you're in the batter's box on the right side, you see initially out of his hand, you're thinking that's a way, that's a ball. And then the movement starts to bring it back into the strike zone. Cologne uses that fastball on the corners as good as anybody.
Outside. Pablo Sandoval on deck. Mets had an opportunity in the top of this inning. Giants now start out the inning with 2 base runners. Cologne gets the sign from Recker. And he will chase Pagan back.
look at Colon, and he is not the prototypical starting pitcher body type that you see day in and day out. 5'11", 285 pounds.
Posey lines it to left, and Young is going to make the catch. So Buster Posey hit it right on the nose.
He nailed that thing. Little two-seamer coming back in, and he digs it out and really barrels this thing beautifully. That's the good news. The bad news is it finds a glove. Can't do anything about that.
So here's Sandoval hitting .247, 0 for 4 last night. He hadn't had too many offers over the last month.
I would expect him to use left field a lot tonight against Cologne.
And that pitch is down low, 1 ball and no strikes. When you look at Bartolo Colon, he is the pride of every man over 40.
Oh, he's built like an umpire. And yet, he's probably one of the better athletes out there.
He's the pride of everyone around 40 and over.
He's 41 years old, in his 16th year at the big league level. And he pitches with a boiler.
Swing, ain't gonna miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Change up outside corner.
Good speed at second. Good speed at first. High into right center field. Granderson way out in Triple's alley. He's going to make the catch. And Pagan moves over to third.
I tell you, he's not popping anybody up right now. Mets, like a lot of teams coming into AT&T, will take their right fielder and play him completely off the line. And it really paid off. Big dividends there. If they had Granderson in normal right field positioning, that's extra bases. And it's 2-0 Giants.
So here's Morris. Morris hitting .285. And he breaks his bat and bounces one to Murphy. And this is going to end the inning. So Colon and Hudson both in trouble in the first, and both work out of it.
home for the draft. It's this fella right here, John Barr. Among your many titles, you are in charge of scouting and the draft. I know you have not slept, but I'm still going to ask you to tell us about your top 3 picks. You did 40 rounds. So we got Tyler Beede, we've got Aramis Garcia, and Dylan Davis. Those are your top 3 picks. Tell us what you like about those guys.
Well, I think, first of all, we were very excited about the draft overall. We think we had a very good draft this year. Got some really good players that we think will help and pay dividends for the Giants down the line. Tyler Beede, start off with right-hand pitcher from Vanderbilt. Really good arm strength. We are happy that he was there. He was projected to go earlier. Garcia, the catcher from FIU, has a chance to have a power bat, and also so we think he can be a catcher starting. It's hitting in the middle of the lineup. And then Dylan Davis, he is a left fielder, right fielder, but a power hitting outfielder.
He's out of Oregon State.
He's out of Oregon State, that's correct.
And what is the strategy for fans who don't know? When you go into the draft, are you drafting for the organization's needs, or are you taking best player available?
Well, the needs change. By the time these players get here, the needs change. So what we try to do is we try to draft the best player possible, and then that gives Brian the flexibility. If the players have value, then that has flexibility to either bring the player up to the big leagues so he can help our team, or trade him like we did with Tommy Joseph a few years ago and get $100 pence out of it. So that's what they're there for.
All right, and guys, absolutely no rest for the weary, because John is also in charge of international scouting.
That's
and
correct.
Where do you head Monday?
I head to the Dominican Republic. We have some signings down there, some workouts, and I'm heading there on Monday.
All right, we're going to go get a cup of coffee right now. Thank you. John Barr, guys.
Thank you.
Well, John Barr, it's his time of the year. I mean, this is it. And all those guys in the scouting and all of Brian Sabian's guys work extremely hard, and I guess it's not going to stop for a while.
It is not. And this is the time of year where you want your scouting people to be tired, and they have done an outstanding job, because they have provided a lot of great talent for Giants fans to enjoy over the years. And nothing strengthens your organization than homegrown talent.
Lucas Duda, ownage.
Severe ownage.
He's at second with nobody out. Tejada, 2 balls and 1 strike. And he bounces this one into the hole. Crawford in and out of his glove, and make that. Tejada's going to be safe. So each shortstop has made an error in this game.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys to the game, and one of the keys we feel is the Duda-Hudson matchup. And Lucas Duda has had some pretty good ownage against Hudson. Not many guys can say that. And we'll pay attention to that matchup as the game wears on. And also against Bartolo Colon as a hitter, you've got to have a plan, because he is going to give you a lot of different speed, a lot of different movement, a lot of great location. You cannot get greedy with Colon. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Here's Anthony Recker. Couple of home runs, 6 driven in. He takes a big swing. He's dangerous. And he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Did not miss by much.
Is crisp. Hudson has been in most of his starts. It's just not quite there yet.
But he can still get ground balls, even when he's not real sharp to the strike zone yet. The important thing that he's doing tonight is that when he's missing down. And he needs a ground ball at an infielder right now.
And he's going to watch this one go into left field. Colvin gets to it. This is going to be cut off. And the Mets lead 1-0. And that sets it up very nicely now for Bartolo Colon to lay down a bunt.
Well, and that's the thing about a ground ball guy, is that they're going to find holes. Not a whole lot that Sandoval could do. Ball just raked right in to Tyler Colvin country in left field and an easy RBI. Fun situation now for Cologne, and this is where the Giants will take a gamble. They will play it very close with the corner infields. They'll set their defensive positioning prior to the pitch very close to Cologne. And the goal is to try and get the out at second and possibly a double play off the bunt. You don't have great speed with Recker at first, and you don't have zero speed with Cologne in the batter's box.
So Cologne, who is 0 for 20, bunts this one, and it's foul. And you saw what was going through the mind of Buster Posey. If he could get to that before it went foul, then he's got not only just a force play at third, but probably a double play.
And they abandoned second base, and Crawford came over to third. And watch as Posey comes out, he's thinking one thing. He's thinking third base. So abandon second, cover third with your middle infielders. If they could have got the out at third, they could have gotten the double play possibly with Cologne at first. And again, they put the play on going for third base, so they're not going for the double play. They are flat out going for third.
So the wheels in motion. Cologne trying to lay one down to advance both runners.
Cologne not much of a hitter. He's 0 for 20 with 13 strikeouts this year.
0 for 21.
Well, and I think Terry Collins probably happy with that. He just didn't want a double play. Well, he meant well. You look at that technique and you just think to yourself, Cologne has spent a long time in the American League.
Here's Den Decker. Hit a soft line drive back to Hudson. And he did that to open up the ball game. Here he takes in tight, 1 ball and no strikes.
Decker sets his legs wide in the batter's box. He's a no stride guy. You'll see him lift his heel up, but that toe will never come off the ground. And his head stays very still.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The changeup. And no stride. Little heel raise. The toe just curls in. It cocks his hips, but the head stays still. And he's had good success with it.
And a strike, 1 and 2. So this is a case now where Hudson's just trying to limit the damage. He's got Tejada at second. He's got Recker at first. Hit on the ground to Hicks. Hicks gets a tricky hop. They get one there, and that's all they're going to get because Den Decker runs so well. But really a nice play. You can see Hicks trying to navigate that so he wouldn't get a weird hop. And they did a good job of making this close at first.
It really would have been a surprise to me if they'd have been able to double up Den Decker. He runs too well, but the fact that they got Recker out at second base, I think, is a pretty good play in itself. I thought when that thing initially came off the bat that Hicks was just going to opt to take the out at first. But these guys think double play on everything, and I mean everything.
Well, now Murphy steps in. Murphy doubled in the first. Murphy hit a ball that actually hit first base right down the line.
This is a steal situation for Decker.
And a strike to Murphy. So Hudson goes right after him on the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Murphy's a very patient hitter, and he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Lifts it to Colvin, and that'll end the inning. Hudson gives up 1 run. It's 1-0 Mets. Nationals right here into AT&T Park, and tickets are on sale for only $15 for the 12:45 game on Thursday. So check out sfgiants.com/dynamic deal. Here's Tyler Colvin. Colvin hitting .259, and he takes the pitch down low. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Crawford. 1-0 Mets. Swinging a bouncing ball. This would be gloved by Duda, who flipped to Colon, and that's the first out here in the second. Check out our Coors Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frosted Brewed Coors Light. Longest time to go from 1,000 to 2,000 strikeouts. And at the bottom of the list, Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, those guys all could pitch. Colon can pitch. Tommy John, Rick Russell, Fernando Valenzuela. Great careers.
And Crawford takes down low. Crawford last night 1 for 2, had a couple of RBIs. Here he breaks his bat and he dumps one into right field, a base hit.
Well, tonight is superhero night, and nothing better than having superheroes working on your ballots, stuffing those boxes, voting for their favorite Giants.
Well, it's an inside joke, but I do have to say, I wonder if they're writing in Dan Gladden. Never mind. Here's Hicks. Hicks hitting 191, 8 home runs, 20 driven in. So Crawford with a 1-out single. And a quick toss. And you're right, Cologne for a big guy is pretty quick.
Danny Gladden was a rookie with the candlestick. He was getting pretty cocky, and we had to figure out a way to kind of calm him down. So Kite came up with the idea that we're going to get a box of all-star ballots, and then we'll take like the first, I don't know, 500 of them, at least an inch of it off the top, and we wrote in Dan Gladden 1,000 times. So we put him in his locker. So we all come back off batting practice, and we're there. And as we walk by his locker, Kite points, "What's this?" He opens up the box. He says, "Hey, everybody, Dan Gladden's writing his name in for the All-Star game."
Worked.
He turned 18 shades of red.
It worked.
It was awesome.
It worked.
But it did calm him down for at least a week.
See, the first 20 there have Gladden's name.
Yeah.
0-1 to Hicks. Hicks hit his first major league triple last night. Breaking ball hit on the ground to third. Right on the backhand to Murphy, and they get one. There's the new coach of the Warriors. Steve Kerr here with his wife. I think he's here with his whole family. And what a great addition.
Well, if you've ever been around this guy for any period of time, you know that he has got a dynamic that is very, very sincere. He loves basketball. He loves what he's doing. He's going to be a good leader.
And his daughter's at Cal. His son is going to school in San Diego. Oh, and 1 to Hudson, who's 2 for 25 on the season. And Hudson pops this one into shallow center field, and it's Chris Young, who's got some great strides, running it down to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left after 2, 1-0 New York.
Our AT&T U-verse rewind, and we go back to June 12, 2003. And in that game, the White Sox took on the Giants, and it was Colon against Bonds who struck them out 3 times. And then in the 4th time, Bonds steps up and does this. And it tied the score. And that is our AT&T U-verse rewind.
Greeted by
Ray Durham.
Ray Durham. Good to see Ray Durham.
It's a good Giant.
He was a good Giant. I like that guy. 1-0 Mets, and David Wright will lead things off. David Wright bounced out to short. He's 0 for 1. Hudson trying to get into a groove. And the first pitch strike to David Wright.
Now Hudson's about 40. Well, he's exactly 40 pitches into this evening, and it's about right now where he should start to get a pretty good sense of the strike zone. Normally he's warmed up and found his groove within about the first 15 pitches. But we saw in spring training where it took him a little bit longer at times, but usually by about the 40th pitch he was dialed.
Wright getting out of dodge on a breaking ball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Big curveball just sort of popped out of his hand.
And a base hit for David Wright, so immediately Hudson back in the stretch.
That's an important at bat for the Mets. I mean, think about it. Hudson had to go through 6 hitters to get out of the 2nd inning, and he had to throw a lot of pitches, and most of it was in the stretch. As the leadoff hitter Duda opened up the inning with a double, and boom, just like this, he's right back in the stretch again. So the Mets did what they had to do. And right now, Tim Hudson's going to get tested.
Wright's got 3 steals on the year. He's a guy that, given an opportunity to steal a bag, he'll do it. Chris Young on deck. And a strike. Granderson drew a walk in the first. It's 0-1. And that's pulled on the ground, foul.
Our ball dude down the first base line, Craig Lutz. Craig, you got to dive. You're a ball dude. You need to get dirty. All right, I got this one. He could have been somebody here. Craig, dive.
Oh, 0-2 to Granderson next time.
Trying to get a sinker. I mean, he's pitching for the ground ball more than he is the strikeout here.
Now you can almost see him just trying to figure things out there. Outside, 2-2. Crawford has now moved to the right of second base. This is fouled out of play. Sandoval now gets to play the position his favorite player played. Oh my God.
Shortstop.
Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty happy group.
Yeah, they're packing the cable car tonight out in right center.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets with 4 hits. They've had 1 runner reach by way of the walk and another on an error. So Hudson and the 2-2 pitch. Full count.
Boy, that breaking ball just not there for him. Two times he's trying to throw that curveball. 2 times he's left it high.
See if right goes. He does. Swinging a drive down the left field line. It is slicing foul into the first row. Down that left field line. So Wright will have to go back. And we'll see another 3-2 pitch to Curtis Granderson.
A lot of stress. And that's 50 pitches into the night for Hudson.
Wright does not go, and this is skied into center field. Pagan, waiting patiently, puts it away.
Take a look at the comparatives between Colon and Hudson. 38 years old for Hudson. Colon 41. One in his 15th year. That would be Hudson. Colon in his 16th year. 211 lifetime victories. 194 for Colon. 405 combined. And a great win percentage. And a lifetime ERA. Fantastic. And this year, Tim Hudson should get his 2,000th strikeout. Colon has already gotten it.
Here's Chris Young. Chris Young, a little bloop to right. This could be trouble. It is. Moving over to third is Wright. And Young bloops a single, putting runners at the corner. And now Hudson has to face the guy that hits him well.
It's the first pitch, get it in slider. It is really a hanger right out there at the belt. It kind of jams Chris Young, runs up the bat. And he just throws a little dead bird out to right field. So an easy first to third for Wright. But good hustle from Hunter Pence, and it keeps Chris Young, who has good speed, at first base. And that's significant when you got a guy who can get a ground ball like Hudson. But he is going to get tested now, because the guy that hits him better than anybody else on this Mets team is stepping in that batter's box, Lucas Duda.
Duda doubled down the right field line in the second. And he has scored the only run in this game. Hicks is going to shade Duda towards that hole. And it's low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Now, Hudson, a guy that's pitched a lot of innings, he knows that he does have a base open. It's not at first, but if he would rather face Tejada with 1 out, he can do that. This is hit down the right field line, and it's a fair ball off of archway number 1. And coming in to score is Wright, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, nice play from Hunter Pence to keep Duda at first base. It's a pretty impressive single, but ownage is ownage, and Duda has some ownage on Tim Hudson.
I think he broke his bat on it.
I think he did too. Almost knocked it out of him. He could not play that any better than Hunter Pence did.
So here's Tejada. Tejada reached on Crawford's error in the second. Duda 2 for 2. Posey knocks it down. 1 ball and no strikes. So a stressful inning, and it started off with a David Wright single into left field.
He has not found the rhythm. He's still looking for it. You go through the milestones of 10 pitches, 20 pitches, 30. I mean, he's 55 pitches into it, and he's still scuffling for a release point. Right now, he needs to get lucky.
2-0.
And he's been pitching behind a lot. And that's so unlike what we've seen so far all year with Tim Hudson, who's been pretty uncanny with his command. Tonight, he's not been able to find it.
Looking for that sharp ground ball to Brandon Crawford. Runner goes, and this is foul down the right field line and into the seats.
Well, you can see what Terry Collins, the skipper of the Mets, is thinking. He wants to stay out of double play. That's an important run in his mind over at third base with Granderson. And he's starting that runner to stay out of double play. He knows what Tim Hudson has done his whole career, is get out of these jams with a double play.
Quick toss. Back is Lucas Duda. Two balls and a strike. Foul. 2-2.
There we go. Rob McClurg, our ball dude down the third base side, making a nice play, making a friend of that little guy. Well, you stopped it, but you got to catch it. Craig Lutz smiling, wishing that he would have dove for the ball that he had a chance on.
Still thinking about it. 2-2. And a full count.
Next pitch will be number 60. A lot of pitches.
We've had starts with Hudson where 60 pitches. We're in the 6th inning.
Yeah, literally. Tonight has been an effort.
3-2. Duda will probably go, and Hudson a soft toss to first, chasing Granderson back. Make that to third. There's actually, it's Chris Young at third. Granderson hit a fly ball in this inning for the only out. Three and two. In the dirt, it's ball 4. Buster Posey keeps it close. You need a gift for Dad? How about a subscription to the premium features in MLB.com at-bat app? That'll have access to features such as live look-ins, instant replay, live audio, and a lot more. For more details to order, visit MLB.com. So George Contos goes down. Here's Recker, who knocked in a run in the second. And it's low, 1-0. Still feeling for it.
And he's not getting squeezed either by Joe West. I mean, Joe West is calling a good game. I mean, he just hasn't had that many strikes that have been even borderline that have been called balls. I mean, it's been a pretty easy game for West.
Still looking for that double play ball. And there's a strike to even the count. See what the Mets have done with the bases loaded. That's the third lowest in the National League. 1 ball and 1 strike. Driven to right. Can Pence get there? He will play it off the archway number 2. And they're going to have 2 guys at second base. A run comes in. And Hicks is going to tag him out.
Wow. Thank you very much.
So Rucker just kept on running. The run total is just 1 on that play. And it puts runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Well, an impressive at bat from Anthony Recker. And he almost knocks it out of here off the wall about a third of the way up. And there's some confusion there. Tim Tuffle, he's got guys going, coming. And it just becomes a major mess up on the part of the Mets and a big out given up by the Mets. And now you have a chance to get out of it, give it up just the 2.
And Colon strikes it, swings and misses 0-1. He struck out in the second. A lot going on.
So it's going to be a double with an RBI, and the play goes 9-4.
0-2. Don't let this guy really hurt you. On 4 hits and a walk. It's 3-0 New York.
That's a bad swing.
In the community moment, it's sponsored by PG&E, and earlier tonight, Not For Sale was recognized here at AT&T Park. Jeremy Affeldt is affiliated with this group strongly, and he was joined by Matt Cain and Brandon Belt. The three Giants tonight are donating their salaries, and they are playing for free. They all are a big part of Not For Sale. The goal of that nonprofit is to put a stop to human trafficking. If you'd like to learn more, go to notforsalecampaign.org. Very, very cool. These guys playing for free tonight. Dwayne and Mike?
It was awesome. They did a great job on the field.
They really did, and I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah. 3 players donating their game salary. So here's Pagan. Pagan reached on an error in the first. Giants have a little bit of work to do. They trail 3-0.
We want to say hello to Bo Smith, Giants employee who is recovering from triple bypass surgery. So, Bo, we all wish you well. We need to see you back here quickly.
1 ball and 1 strike. Cologne staked to a 3-run lead. There's a called strike. In his last 3 starts, Cologne is 3-0 with a 1.61 earned run average.
Oh, he's been a horse. And just efficient. I mean, he just knows exactly what he's doing. A great reader of hitters. He just carves up strike zone.
And Pagan fouls it back. Hey, they got the Mets section here.
A lot of New Yorkers here in San Francisco, and they're good fans. It's one thing if you play in the National League and you get to New York to play in front of that group, you're impressed. Very passionate fan base.
Hit up the middle and a base hit for Pagan. There's the Giants trying to get on the board here in the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Hunter Pence.
Having fun at the yard.
Bob Saget made it. Yeah, way to go, Bob. Funny Home Videos, remember that?
Yep. Still watch it
Sunday nights. Here's Pence. I don't remember why I watched it.
because it made you laugh.
Well, there was like maybe 3 things that would make you laugh really hard.
Yeah, but it'd be a horse laugh and a half.
But the other 35 were like, oh, okay. The 0-1 to Pence. Not close. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, the last time Hudson and Cologne faced each other was 2004. That's a little years ago.
Yeah, it is. As long as these guys been around, I mean, it's kind of odd that they've only faced each other that many times.
Outside corner, 1-2.
The movement that Cologne features is not big, but it's quick, and he can locate to the corner so beautifully with it.
One and 2 to Pence. Pagan leaning, he does not go, and that's strike 3 call. And I don't believe Hunter Pence is buying it for 1 second.
First strikeout of the night for Cologne. And Anthony Recker, the catcher, really sits a wide target. And it hits right between the knees. And that wide target took Joe West right with it.
So here's Buster Posey. Buster lined out to left field in the first. Here he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Pablo Sandoval to follow. One ball and one strike. Seven hits for the Mets. The Giants with 3. The crisp game we were looking for, we haven't found it yet. And a base hit to left field. And here's Sandoval.
Hits are starting to fall now. The Posey's batting average starting to climb. He's getting hot, and this is not a hanger. He goes down and beats a pretty good pitch. I mean, that's right at the knees on the outside corner, exactly to the target of Anthony Recker. And he goes in and just smokes it through the hole between David Wright and Ruben Tejada. And just like that, the Giants get a tying run on the plate.
Sandoval hit a ball way out into Triple's alley that Granderson tracked down. And off the end of the bat right to Morris, and it's 0-1.
Love Pablo. What's not to love? Especially when he's hot.
And he is right now. It's no balls and one strike.
That is a great changeup. Just perfectly set up by great arm action, identical to that of the fastball. And a short armor like Bartolo Colon is going to have quick arm action that's going to get on you anyway. This 92 is going to look like it's 94, 95 just because of the arm action.
1-2. So he's got a pretty good idea of what he wants to do.
Every pitch.
Pagan at second, Posey at first. In the dirt, 2-2. They came back with a changeup. Sandoval steps out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Colon now taking a lot of time, 2-2.
By design.
Foul back.
And he humps up at 93, and that's where you really can get surprised. Colon will establish the speed with the fastball throughout the at-bat. He'll go in here from 86 to 89, and then all of a sudden a 2-strike count. He'll hump up and go 93 and you think it's the fastest thing you've ever seen. Sandoval did well to fight that off.
He did. And now full count. Moved his feet.
Fastball speeds tonight have been between 85 and 93 with location and different movements. So the fastball in essence is 8 different pitches depending on where he's throwing it or what speed he's putting on it.
So it's 3-2, and we'll see what Colon does to Sandoval. Runners go, and he fouls it back. He's on it.
So he goes right in the hands with 90. And Sandoval fouls it straight back. And when a guy fouls it straight back, he's got you timed, at least to that one pitch.
I was definitely betting on a 3-2 changeup.
I was too.
Hits it to left. Young with room. He'll make the catch. 2 outs. So a long battle won by Colon, and here's Morris.
The Mets really do have some exceptional range in their outfield with Young and Granderson on the corners. Young, a center fielder for a long time with Arizona, and Granderson has played center field in his career. So in essence, you got 3 center fielders out there, and they can cover a lot of ground.
Here's Morris. Morris bounced out to second. And it's off the plate, 1-0. This is where the Giants have excelled. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. This time that hits the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Braves 3, Giants nothing. Make that. Mets are leading 3-0. Colon looks to second, and it's low, and it's 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. Foul. 2-2.
90-mile-an-hour fastball, and he was late. And that was a good location pitch to hit. But getting time to his speed is what Colon is all about. He gives you so many different speeds. You just can't get long with him. I would say a guy who's a finesse pitcher, you have to take what he gives you, and it's really important against a guy like Colon.
And that'll end the inning. 3-0 Mets. Well, Saturday, June 14th is our first gamer day at the ballpark, presented by Half Moon Bay Brewing Company. My partner, the leader of the gamer movement, will be joined by special guests for a pregame Q&A panel. Now you need a special ticket for this package. Call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events. 3-0 in favor of the Mets. And it'll be Matt Den Decker to lead things off here in the fourth.
That's good with the cat right there. It's like a little tiger. Stripes. Looking for food.
Den Decker takes a strike. Soft line drive back to the pitcher. Then he reached on a fielder's choice in the second. And Hudson will be back into the stretch.
It's just one of those nights.
Time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. Your vote counts. Winner will be revealed during Giants postgame live. You can follow the action on the diamond like never before. Giants in-game live on csnbayarea.com. Log on now and vote.
There's a gamer, babe. A little concerned right now.
Here,
Tim Hudson back in the stretch.
And Murphy takes wide. 1 ball and no strikes. Murphy doubled in the first and lined out to left field to end the second. And Decker's got 1 steal. And he goes, and this is bounced, and Morris knocks it down, and he will try to get it to Hudson, and he does, and they get the out.
I'll tell you what, that's a good play. I thought once the ball kicked away from Morris, no chance. And that's just a play of persistence. You're going to be playing shallow when you're holding a runner on. And once he got on his knees and scrambled around there, I didn't think they were going to be able to get Murphy, but in the end, it was not even close.
Now, the ability of Hudson, even at his age, to get to the bag and then square up. Remember, he was hurt against this Mets team.
Got to play like that.
So here's David Wright with Den Decker now at second. And the first pitch is down low, 1-0.
Got an open base here, and it is not the end of the world to walk David Wright and you have runner in scoring position.
Driven down the right field line, that'll be foul. This is when Hudson got hurt, and this was one of those where you may want to turn away right there.
And at the time he went down, he didn't know if he was ever going to be able to play again.
Yeah.
Chris Young, who stepped on him, coming over to see how he was. Eric Young Jr., I believe. I said Chris, beg your pardon.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
That was the night in New York. That was the last outing that he had in 2013, and he was dealing.
And he gets right.
Hudson said in the offseason that he wasn't doing what he normally would do during an offseason, building up his arm, working on his body, getting it ready for the upcoming season. He had to rehab that injury. So when he got to spring training with the Giants, I mean, he basically had to start from scratch to get his arm in shape.
Here's Granderson. He walked in the first. He hit a fly ball to center field in the third. And here he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Hard to imagine that at pitch 75 you start to feel like you're getting into a rhythm.
Well, better late than never.
Crawford playing right behind second base. And this is slowly hit to Hicks. And Hicks will underhand it to Morris, and Hudson coming back after the leadoff single by Den Decker. It'll be Colvin, Crawford, and Hicks coming up.
Presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
3-0 New York. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Bartolo Colon getting set to face Tyler Colvin. Colvin 0 for 1. Grounded out back to first base back in the second inning. And first pitch swinging, a little lazy fly ball out to Den Decker in center field. And just like that, one pitch, one out. Well, Giants versus the Nationals on Say Hey Tuesday, 7 p.m. Yahoo Sports Talk Live for the Plaza at 5 p.m. Pregame live at 6:30 p.m. You'll see right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Yahoo Sports Talk Live will broadcast live from Willie Mays Plaza before every Tuesday game starting at 5 p.m. That's every home game. Be one of the first 500 fans to stop by and get a cheer card and a Dwayne Kuiper home run bobblehead originally given away at the ballpark on April 25th. And all these folks, I'm sure, will be planning on attending. Got quite a party going on there tonight. So now Brandon Crawford steps in. First pitch taking, strike one.
A party?
Smile smooth.
Somebody say party.
Tuck your boiler in. Pops out every once in a while. You gotta maintain that thing.
Here's the 0-1 to Crawford, and Crawford takes a pitch, I guess, high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Crawford singled in the second inning. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Got him.
Now, just as we thought, the game has been called a little tighter the first couple of innings, but as these pitchers have hit the strike zone, especially with Colon, who's really been in command, he has stretched it out. Joe West has gone wide with him. And we've seen strikeouts, called strike threes now, on all 3 of the strikeouts that Colon has had, and they've all been in the outer part of the plate. Pence, Morse, and now Crawford all going down, and I'm sure not any of those guys are convinced that those were strikes.
Hicks to right field. And Colon with a 6-pitch inning here in the 4th. So we will head to the 5th. It remains 3-0 New York.
Time for fans to get their photos out and their Twitter accounts out. If you want to get on to our broadcast, tweet us your San Francisco Giants fan photo. Hashtag it CSNBA fan photo. Give us your name, your hometown. You are checking out the Pike family, and they are hanging out with the Say Hey Kid. They are from Concord, California. We loved your picture, guys.
Way to go, Pike family. You're standing with a good one. Here's Hudson facing Chris Young. And there's a called strike. All right, maybe a great one.
Yeah. It's fair to say.
Young single, hit a little bloop down the right field line in the 3rd. This breaking ball stays inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Maybe both guys now starting to settle in a little bit, Colon and Hudson.
Sometimes if you could just weather the storm, you never know when you pick up a rhythm. I mean, he really has struggled all night. I mean, he hasn't looked as sharp as he has had in any of his previous starts this year. I mean, this has been the one night where he's really had to labor.
And Hudson right off the bat back in the stretch.
And he's only been able to get the leadoff hitter out 1 time, and that was Den Decker back in the 1st inning. That little slow line drive back to Hudson. That's 9 hits allowed. That's the most that he has allowed in any of his starts. And there's nobody out here in the 5th.
Lucas Duda's got a couple of hits. And this is a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1.
Talked about the success that Lucas Duda has had against Hudson. He was 9 for 26 coming into tonight's ball game with a lifetime 346, and he's got 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats. So that's gone up a lot.
He could bunt the double right now.
You're right.
Look at that.
A lot of room over here. But he's not thinking bunt. He's thinking swing for separation here. He's trying to hit one in the pond.
Out of play, nothing in 2. See the number of pitches for Hudson, 82. He is due to lead off the bottom of this inning. And the fastball is high to Duda.
That was right to the glove. Posey wanted to elevate the fastball. And even if Lucas Duda does not swing at that, it does set up the knees again. And I think they want to get him out with a changeup, and I think they want to throw it down below the strike zone because he will chase.
Two and two.
So they tried to go front door with a sinker. So not pitching for the strikeout, pitching for the ground ball. The Mets just have been very patient. They have not gone down below the strike zone and chased many pitches from Hudson.
Runner goes, and it's bounced foul. So Duda got out in front of that off-speed pitch. Former Giant Tom Goodwin picks up that foul ball and flips it into the seats.
There's Goody. He's a good Giant. Enjoyed our time with Tom Goodwin. Very classy player. No surprise that he's now a coach. He's going to be in baseball as long as he wants to be.
Run goes again. It's inside. It goes to the backstop. So this will change everything defensively because now with the runner at second, Sandoval has to play a lot closer to the bag.
Sitting on the outside corner, it just gives you an idea of just how off Hudson is. I mean, that goes all the way on the inside corner in the dirt. And I mean, that can surprise a catcher. I know you should always be prepared for everything as a catcher, but when you're used to a guy having great command like Hudson has shown all year, when he's off by 6 feet, you can have one get by you quickly. Pure wild pitch, but that is not even close to a pass ball.
And Dave Urgetty's going to get out there after that. That's almost looked like he stumbled a little bit.
Getty going to take as much time as he can to get Contos ready. Contos has already gotten hot one time. It's probably going to take him 10-12 pitches on a night like tonight to establish that fastball. And now Joe West, the plate umpire, takes the long walk out to break up the rock pile. If Tejada gets on base, I would have to believe that that would be the end of the night for Tim Hudson.
So here's Tejada. Tejada's reached on an error, and he's also walked. Nobody out here in the 5th. 1 ball and no strikes. I've seen a little frustration now from Hudson. He's been so good when it comes to throwing the ball where he wants to, that now tonight it just hasn't been there.
No, it has not. And you will make adjustments on every pitch. And when all of your efforts are just not working, I mean, it is frustrating.
It's 2-0.
And the other thing too is, one umpire or one pitcher's getting a strike zone where he's getting big corners. Well, Bartolo Colon has earned them. And Hudson hasn't really been around the strike zone enough to get those corner calls like that last pitch. That was a close pitch, but he's been so wild tonight. You're not going to get those close pitches. So in essence, there are 2 different strike zones tonight.
And there's a strike to make it 2-1. I think you and I predicted this. I think Greg and Sean were the ones that said this is going to be a really crisp game.
I think anybody that follows baseball and knows the history of these 2 pitchers would think it would be a very brisk pace, a lot of strikes.
Get on the ground towards the hole. Crawford's got it. They get one there and close, but no. And a good try. Puts runners now at the corners for Anthony Recker.
Take a look at the heat put on the play by Lucas Duda, who's a big fella. Now you watch Brandon Hicks play, and the way that he plays second base and turns the pivot, he really reminds you of Jeff Kent. Only he's got a better arm than Kent. Kent had a good arm. And Brandon Hicks has a shortstop's arm at second base.
Low to Recker.
Good dig to the backhand, off balance throw, and there's a strike. And there you can see the exchange, using the bag to protect himself, and only the speed of Tejada denied the double play. But A for effort. And there are a lot of second basemen that wouldn't even have bothered making the throw.
That's pulled foul.
Is that
Billy?
Is that old Sweet Hands Hayes?
Wow, Billy. So Hudson standing on the back of the mound trying to figure things out. 93 pitches. Record 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Hudson gets the sign. Soft toss to first, just as Buster Posey was setting up a target in.
Yeah, the one thing about Hudson, I mean, he just continues to do the same thing that he's always done with runners in score, with runners in force order. The man at first base, less than 2 outs. He's pitching for that double play, and he can do it with 5 or 6 different types of pitch. You just can't get him close to the strike zone.
Cued off the end of the bat, foul 1 and 2.
And when they do get hit, they're just not at an infielder where they can get a double play. It's just been one of those nights.
The one thing you do appreciate, though, is watching a guy Hudson's age with literally not a whole lot out there right now, but compete.
I mean, he's won double play from getting out of this, and he's kept his team in the game. I mean, that's his job, and it's how you keep your team in a game on a night where you don't have command and you don't have great stuff, and that oftentimes will define you as a pitcher.
Got him. So here's Cologne. Cologne has struck out twice.
See, 95 pitches on the night. I don't have the exact count, but I got to believe about 80 of them are out of the stretch.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not buying Cologne's swings. I think he's laying in the weeds.
They may have put the take sign on him 3 times here. After that last at bat, it was not pretty. But he has a bat in his hand that makes him dangerous.
Runner goes, tap foul. I'm telling you, that was a Dave Kingman cut right there.
You look at the swing and you go, how is this guy 0 for 22 with a ton of strikeouts? And this is not a bad swing. Oh for 22 with 15 strikeouts. Those are bad numbers, but you can't take them lightly.
You can't. One and two.
Stay down below the strike zone and let that ball sink. And tonight, last hit that Cologne got was 2005.
Got him. Hudson's walking off the mound. It's 3-0 Mets.
Is brought to you by 22 Jump Street in theaters June 13th.
Nothing Mets as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Gregor Blanco is going to lead things off. So Hudson's night is over with. It'll be Blanco, Pagan, and Pence, and the Giants still very much in this game. They've had opportunities against Cologne.
Now, and I really have to hand it to Tim Hudson, who has kept the Giants in this ball game. And we have an exact count: 99 pitches on the night. 81 of the pitches that Hudson threw were out of the stretch.
And Blanco looks at a strike. Blanco hitting at .232. But if you look at his last 18 games, he's a different hitter. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, he's a confident hitter, and that's the most important thing. And that has all happened in the last couple weeks.
a base hit to lead off the fifth.
Here's Bochy coming over to pat Tim Hudson on the back saying, hey, I feel you, that was a heck of an effort. And it really was, because he didn't have a lot of things going that he normally has tonight. And he was pretty sloppy with his command, and it's just not something you see from Hudson. We have not seen it. But yet through it all, he still managed to keep his team in the game. And that's what pitchers do.
Uh-oh. Right. Yep. She's laughing though. She lost some of it. It's fell in her shirt.
It's all right. You can still regroup and go get it. Not a problem.
You do that on the plane 100 times.
It's within the rules.
Pitch is low to Pagan. Now, in the words of Norm Sherry, nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
1-0 to Pagan. He's 1 for 2. Blanco with his lead. And Pagan with a base hit to left. That's that stroke you're talking about with Pagan.
I really think that has been the difference maker in his average this year. I mean, he's really mastered that swing. And just let the movement provide where you go with it. If it's going to be away, go with it away. And not a lot of swing there. It's just a very disciplined approach. And that enables the tying run to come to the plate with Hunter Pence.
He's as good as anybody at serving that ball the other way. Here's Pence. Pence fouls it back, and he had a rip.
And that was one of the rare mistakes to location that we've seen from Cologne tonight. Record, the Mets catcher really set a target inside. They're trying to get in and jam. And look at the target and look where it winds up. That thing is at the belt, out over the plate away, and that is the happy zone for Hunter Pence. And he just misses it. And Rucker wants to go back inside again.
And he misses inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Pence's first at bat, he drove a base hit in between Wright and Tejada. The look to second. And that time he did get it in on his hands. It's 1-2.
That's the scout report right there. That's how the Mets have tried to go after him. With that fastball that Cologne can throw that has movement that runs into the right-handed hitter. When you commit yourself to that pitch, you think it's going to be an inside corner. By the time you get to it, it's off the plate in on your hands.
Well, you have to imagine they go back in again. Going away. 2-2.
You know, think back to his last at bat. He got rung up on a pitch that really was a pitcher's strike. Pence did not think it was a strike. It was a slider similar to that last pitch. And that was a pretty good idea there with 2 strikes for Cologne to go out that way, to think that Pence felt he had to cover it, not trusting the umpire.
And the 2-2.
And there's the make good right there. And that pitch right there was better than what strike 3 was in the last at bat. This is a 2-seam fastball, backdoor in the outside corner, and the end is there.
You're absolutely right.
And Cologne really upset with the no call.
So it's 3-2. Terrific speed on the bases. And we'll watch record. And they're loaded.
So he goes with a slider down below the zone, and the pitch lays off. All right, time now for McDonald's True Story. July 2013 Giants-Mets, Buster Posey recorded a career-high 5 hits in a 16-inning game. It went 5 for 8 with a pair of doubles, a home runs, and 2 RBIs. And the last Giants catcher with 5 or more hits in a game was Doug Mirabelli at Houston on June 24, 2000.
Well, he's coming up with the bases loaded. Dan Worthen, the pitching coach. Some words of encouragement. Posey is lined out to left, and he singles sharply past David Wright in the third.
Giants are getting some activity in their bullpen. Right-hander Dana Evelyn head down, or left-hander rather, I beg your pardon.
1 ball and no strikes.
And that was completely the other side of the plate, away from the intended target.
Cologne sets right at the letters. And here he comes back in with a strike to even the count.
And Cologne, just like Tim Hudson, when the runner at first base and the force is in order, he's going to pitch for the double play.
Yep.
This is not a strikeout situation in his mind. He's looking for a ground ball that gets 2 outs. And Posey knows this. He's trying to get a mistake up that he can do some damage with.
And a swing and a foul back, 1 and 2. At third is Blanco. At second is Pagan. At first is Hunter Pence. 2 singles and a walk. Cologne about to throw pitch number 70. And it is ahead in the count to Buster Posey, 1 and 2. Slowly hit, foul, and Buster Posey will live to see another pitch.
That was just definitely a stay alive emergency hack there.
There's Sandoval and then Morris in the hole. And the Curs digging it. It's 1 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Not going to get a belt high strike from Joe West. He's a low ball guy.
Humped up on this a little bit. And they're just trying to get Buster Posey to chase. Two and 2. Double play ball. Coming in to score is Blanco, but Cologne gets the double play. Over to third goes Pagan. And here's Pablo Sandoval. So Cologne gets what he wants.
Well, you're right. I mean, he's more than happy to give up 1 run to get the 2 outs. And this is where Pablo Sandoval can pick up Buster Posey right here.
Sandoval is flied out deep to right center field, and then he hit a fly ball to left in the third. So Pagan at third. And Sandoval takes in tight, 1 ball and no strikes.
crowd him on that inside corner.
High drive to left. Young back. And that'll end the inning. So Colon is going to walk off the mound thinking that he dodged a bullet. It's 3-1 New York.
AT&T Park, your special event package will include a collector's edition Giants Bat Pack t-shirt inspired by the iconic image from the Rat Pack era outside the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas, and a ticket to see your first place Giants take on the Washington Nationals. So make sure to arrive early, as family members with Rat Pack will be participating in on-field pregame activities. Call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events for your Rat Pack tickets.
So it's a 3-1 lead for New York. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Eighth game that George Contos comes into. He's 1-0 with an 0.90 ERA. 8 base runners in 10 innings, 11 strikeouts against 2 walks. He has been very, very good. He's got a lot of different types of movement now. Before, he was just a fastball ranked 92 with a slider, and he threw a lot of sliders. Now, 2 types of fastball, a changeup. He'll cut the ball, and he still has that great slider.
So he'll be facing Den Decker. Den Decker has been on base 3 times, or make that 2 times. Mets have had their leadoff hitter on every inning except the first. No swing on the appeal. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Three and 0.
Did you see who the Giants drafted today? 38th round, son of Benito Santiago Jr.
Is he a pitcher?
Catcher.
Oh. And that's a 4-pitch walk. So the trend continues.
5th inning in a row that the Mets have been able to get that leadoff hitter on base.
So here's Murphy. Murphy is double lined out and he's bounced out. Here he takes wide, so 5 in a row out of the strike zone, 1-0. And a soft toss to first, and then Decker is back. And this driven foul down the left field line and out of play.
Murphy last night swinging the big bat against Matt Cain. This was a 1-0 ball game, and all of a sudden a swing of the bat, and the Mets had a lead. Able to get it in slider behind the count, and Murphy proceeded to hit home run number 4 on the year off Matt Cain. Matt Cain did not make many mistakes last night.
Threw the ball extremely well. Ended up with a no decision. Here it's 1-1 to Murphy. Runner started to go, and they'll throw to first, and just getting back is Den Decker. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Let's take a look. He was a little bluff step. He leaked out the bag, and Posey saw an opening there. But in the end, Den Decker got back in plenty of time.
Runner goes, and a base hit past Morris. So Den Decker will end up at third. It's 1st and 3rd with nobody out.
That's a bit feisty. Set the table every inning. The slider down and in. And Murphy just yanks it right past Morse. And with Den Decker's speed, once it got to the outfield, an easy take at third base. And this is a strikeout situation now for George Cantos.
David Wright 1 for 3. And it's up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Curtis Granderson is on deck. And Cantos comes in and gets the call on the inside corner.
Nice 92-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. And that's the movement that will run into the right-hander. Trying to get to that 2-strike situation where you can drop that slider on David Wright. Surprise him with it.
Runner goes. Phil is going down to second, and stealing it is Murphy. Murphy now with 10.
Well, that's a big 90 feet. And he had a nice jump, because that takes away the force. When you look at the jump, boy, just put your head down and start digging. He never looked in at all. So that'll affect how the infield plays. They're going to come in. And Cantos has saved that slider here for a 2-strike surprise. He isn't showing in the first 3 pitches.
In the dirt. Gets to Buster Posey. And coming in to score is Den Decker. And just like that, the Mets get that run back. So the walk scores.
Let's see where this ball hits. I think it hit the. It may have hit home plate and skimmed on it.
Yeah, it did.
And that means unpredictable as soon as it hits home plate.
And Wright is caught looking.
So the slider in the end does indeed surprise Wright. They get the strikeout. And it sets up another strikeout situation here for Granderson.
Granderson is 0 for 2 with a walk. Infield in again. And that's that pitch you're not going to get from Joe West. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Back to a 3-run lead for New York. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Granderson swinging at that 1-0 pitch, turning around immediately to Joe West, the plate umpire, and said, "Was that a strike?" And I think Joe West said, "Yep."
Santos sets and throws to Granderson, and it's very high. It's 2-1. On deck is Chris Young. Popped him up. And Buster Posey coming over, and it's going to be out of play. Oh yeah, they believe.
You bet. Together we are Giants.
They believe.
Got their orange hats on. Ready.
Two balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Got him.
So there's the strikeout he was pitching for. And again, he saved that slider for a 2-strike surprise. And he throws it up and gets Granderson to chase. And that's great situational pitching from Cantos.
So here's Young. Young hits a high fly ball to right. And Pence is going to put it away. Mets pick up a run. It's 4-1 New York.
brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers, offering business and personal insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
4-1 New York as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Morris, Colvin, and Crawford facing Bartolo Colon. And the first pitch to Morris is outside. Morris has bounced out to second, and he got caught looking on a wide strike in the 3rd. It's jammed as this is bounced to Tejada. And Tejada is going to throw out Morris. 1 out. And here's Colvin.
Being able to pitch for the ground ball is such an art form. The guys who started this ball game tonight, Tim Hudson and Bartolo Colon, I mean, they've made a really good career of being able to do it. And the big difference in this ball game was the bases loaded situation that confronted Colon with Buster Posey, and he got that double play. He minimized the damage, allowed just the 1.
Here's Colvin, who's 0 for 2. And the first pitch is down low. Colvin bounced out in the 2nd, then hit a fly ball in the 4th. Strike to even the count. The Rockies today snapped their 8-game losing streak. And they beat the Dodgers with a run in the 10th inning. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
This little change up, perfect location. So you get out and take a little inventory. Swinging at a pitch like that, miss, it hurts.
One-two pitch. And he got him.
Rough at bat right there. You don't like to see a big leaguer break down mid-swing in a 2-strike situation. And that's a long walk back to the dugout for Colvin. Hey, Batman's here.
I feel a lot safer now.
Oh, yeah. Well, it has been superhero and comic night.
I have a feeling this little guy put that on at 7:30 this morning.
And he might wear that for the next 3 months. Yep. 7 in the morning.
Here's Crawford.
Giants had Stan Lee throw out the first pitch. The creator of a lot of superheroes. Batman, Spider-Man.
Crawford chasing and missing. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So that has been a theme around the ballpark. And Giants fans don't need a lot of encouragement.
1-2, I think. How about the fact that it's a night game? About all the encouragement you need.
On a Saturday.
In all honesty, I thought it was superheroes comic night every Friday night.
You never know what you're going to see at AT&T Park.
And Crawford shoots one past Murphy for a 2-out base hit. And that's going to give Brandon Hicks a shot to try to knock one out of the park.
When we flash back to last night, the first triple of the year for Brandon Hicks, and it cleared the head of Den Decker. A couple extra base hits on the night for Brandon Hicks. Really swung the bat well. We're going to make that a 4th right choice.
Hicks is 0 for 2. And he takes the first pitch in tight. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. Hector Sanchez is drafted back. Hector's in the on-deck circle.
See, go back and look at the pitches that Colon has missed out of the strike zone tonight. They're not very far from the strike zone. He's not an easy guy to take, especially at a 2-strike count.
Hicks on the ground. Wright's got it. He will go to second. He throws it away. Now they got to play at second base, and Hicks is going to make it. So an error by David Wright, and the Giants have some life here with 2 outs.
Well, he makes a nice play going to his left to get it, but he throws off his right foot. And this is where the Giants catch a break. I mean, what should have been an inning ender, all of a sudden now is big time opportunity. And Dan Worthen, the pitching coach of the Mets, going to come out. And Daniel Murphy really never had a chance.
So the Mets have created an opportunity for the Giants here in the 6th inning. And it's going to be Hector Sanchez who is going to step up.
Activity in the Mets bullpen. Yunis Familia.
Sanchez 2 for 11 as a pinch hitter with 2 RBIs. And he takes the first pitch high.
It's the biggest at-bat game for the Giants right here. Given the opportunity with a rare error for David Wright, an opportunity to get a couple runs on a base hit here, but score 2. They do not have good arms in the Mets outfield.
And Colon's going to get the call. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
There you see the defense slightly the other way in the outfield from center to left. They give the right field line. Totally give the line.
Pitch is high. Right field is wide open for Sanchez.
And if he can hook a ball down the line in right field, he might get himself a triple. Yep, and I'm talking Hector Sanchez, who's not built for triples. Colon's pitching Sanchez like he doesn't really know his swing, and he's pitching like he's got an open base and he's not afraid to use it.
It's 3-1. No guarantee Sanchez is going to get anything to hit here, and we'll find out. And it's ball 4.
Well, nice at bat. So you go up there taking a bat against Bartolo Colon, you're not thinking you're going to get walked. But there was an open base there, and Colon took it. And perhaps, like a lot of veteran pitchers, he is more familiar with Pagan than he was with Sanchez, and he would rather pitch to the guy that he knows better. Even if he's got 2 hits against him tonight, like Pagan has.
So for the 2nd inning in a row, the Giants load the bases. Pagan is 2 for 3. And he flips it into left field. He's got a hit. Crawford scores. Hicks scores. It's 4-3. Unbelievable.
Well, that's how you make an error hurt. And the Giants are not done.
But Cologne's night is.
Just a little jam job that he throws out in short left field, and with 2 outs, everybody's getting a good jump. And the Giants get to within 1.
Bobby Abreu is moving out to the outfield. So, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts. We'll be back. Down to a 1-run lead for New York. And there's a new pitcher.
Yoris Familia. And for Familia, the 29th time he has come in, and he has had a nice first half. Righty's hitting $130 off him. Lefty's at 333. And he throws hard. You're going to see mid to high 90s fastball. He will 2-4 seeing the fastball. He's got a good hard slider. And that's what you're going to see pretty much most of the time. Granderson swings over to left field, and Bobby Abreu comes in, and he's the new Mets right fielder. He'll hit in a nice spot, and he'll be 4th up in the 7th.
And here's Pence. Pence is 1 for 2. Tying runners at second base. And this is tapped foul. So 97 right out of bed, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Pence taps it slowly. Tejada's going to have to hurry, and Pence beats it out. And they're loaded for Buster Posey.
And watch the backswing. He gets out of the box well, and it just starts digging, head down. And in the end, it's not even close. And look at the boys in the dugout. So Pence keeps the inning alive. For Ruben Tejada, the Mets shortstop, there really was no time for an exchange glove hand to bare hand. It had to be bare hand only.
So Buster Posey waiting on Familia. And it's low, 1-0.
It's hard to believe a guy would nibble with 97, but I think he did on that first pitch. Juan Gutierrez will pitch the 7th inning.
Familia, a long look in. Now he's ready. And a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's a borderline strike, but it's been called all night. I mean, that's not anything we haven't seen before. But it is right at the base of Joe West's strike zone. He is not showing Posey the slider in 2 pitches.
Two balls and 1 strike.
And there it was. So now he's showing a strikeout pitch to Posey. And that goes in the database for Buster Posey. Luis Familia.
Two and 1. Tap slowly fouled. It's now 2 and 2.
Familia from the Dominican. It's his 2nd year at the big league level. 6'3", 245-pounder. He's 24 years of age. Straight away. They bunch the gaps in the outfield, and they give him the line and left. They think he's going to use the middle of the field.
So we have gone the distance to Buster Posey.
That was an easy take right there, and that was an overthrow from Familia.
And now he's got to come into the strike zone.
Has to.
Sanchez, Pagan, and Pence are going to be on the move. Now this crowd is standing. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Familia is ready. And the pitch. And he got him to end the inning. So some of the action here in the 6th inning. It's Pagan's hit to knock in a pair. It's 4-3 New York. Cologne and Hudson. And those are the numbers. Both threw pitches into the 90s. Only man not to reach has been Bartolo Colon. And the Mets with runners in scoring position, 3 for 18, Giants 2 for 10. It has not been a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
New pitcher now for the Giants will be Juan Gutierrez. 25th time that he's come in this year. 1-1 with a 3.16 ERA. He's averaging below a runner an inning, which is outstanding, and a 4-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. Having a good solid first half. His job, keep it right there.
Speed this game up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. He is the slowest worker in the Giants bullpen by a bunch.
Lucas Duda has been on base 3 times, a double, a single, and a walk. And he looks at a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
He uses that big curveball a lot on first pitch situations because with his fastball, and he's got a mid-90s fastball, you get that batter's box off a guy like Gutierrez, you're not going to think about that big curveball. You're just not. And it's a great way to get an 0-1 advantage.
Skied very high to right field. And that is out number 1. That's a Dave Kingman fly ball. Let's check in with Amy G.
Hey, I have a special friend here, Mason, 7 years old, on summer break. Who's your favorite superhero?
Captain America.
Very good choice. Funny you should say that because Stan Lee, who actually created the Avengers, and he's a legendary comic book creator, Spider-Man, you may have heard of him, he threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and Romo, guys, is one of his muses. Last year he created a silver slider character in honor of Sergio Romo. Great moment. Dwayne?
Amy's got a partner now down in the stands on these hits.
She could find him.
Here's Tejada, who takes in tight, 1 ball and no strikes. Do you think that was a setup? Or do you think that was really?
She's been working on it for 3 innings.
Yeah.
No doubt. Although I do believe it's sincere. When he said he liked Captain America, I don't doubt that for a second.
Said it like he meant it. There's no doubt about that. Tejada lifts one out to Pagan in right center field. 2 out. Yeah.
Buds for life.
Here's Anthony Recker. The hornblower coming in, Mike. Lots of folks on the hornblower tonight. If they aren't in the park, they're in the hornblower.
I haven't seen the hornblower for a while.
Recker's 2 for 3. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. There it is. And it's packed.
Well, I got to tell you, coming into McCovey Cove on a boat and seeing this ballpark is
very cool,
thrilling.
Oh, Gutierrez throwing strikes.
2 good breaking balls to get on top quickly. 0-2.
So it's 0-2 to Anthony Recker. And that gets Recker, and then it gets Buster Posey. How did that not hurt Recker at all?
Got Posey in the throat. Boy, you know, you're completely relaxed back there. You're concentrating on catching the ball. And then all of a sudden the cam comes in and just absolutely stuns you. just hits the elbow into the chin and probably the neck area. Ouch. So a break for the Mets with Gutierrez on top of Recker 0-2 quickly. Mets get a base runner for Bobby Abreu.
So Abreu at the plate, and he goes around, and it's 0-1.
There you see the numbers. I mean, this guy can hit. Career against the Giants, 298, 10 big flies, 39 RBIs. He's had a good half season against the Giants.
Pagan coming in, and that'll end the inning. For the Giants, it'll be Sandoval, Morris, and Colvin coming up, having fun on the hornblower. It's 4-3 Mets. One as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. We're having fun here at the yard tonight.
And it's a party. All I want for my birthday is a Giants win. All right, they're trying.
Lopez in the Giants bullpen, Sandoval at the plate, Morris, and then Colvin. Sandoval has hit the ball in the air 3 times, and he's 0 for 3. And that'll be fouled down the left field line. Granderson is shading Sandoval in that area.
Nice play. Gentleman brought his glove. Made his section proud. That a bit. It's an old player.
Sandoval pops it up. Shallow left field. And Granderson's going to make the catch. 1 out.
This is a semi-adventure.
Here's Morris. Morris is 0 for 3. Two ground balls and a strikeout. And that pitch is wide.
Was a respectful miss.
Colvin watching from the on-deck circle. Two and 0. Oh, we got Romo socks.
The Super Sox. Who came up with that? Yeah. He will wear those a lot.
2 and 0. Bell tie strike. You don't get too many of those with Joe West.
No, you do not. He's a knee-high guy. And the other thing too about Joe West, if you're thinking you might be able to argue a little bit with him, think again.
That foul, 2 and 2.
We were talking with Joe West yesterday about the new rules in replay as to whether or not the umpires like it. He says they like it. See, it takes a lot of pressure off. Hey, all we want to do is get it right. And that really has been the goal of replay, and it's working.
Got him.
It's a good slider right there at 86. Second strikeout of the night for Morse. And that is a hard breaking ball.
Here's Colvin. Hey, we've got Seagulls tonight, but we have low flying Seagulls.
Well,
and that could be a little bit of an issue.
They are absolutely within striking distance of the ground. No doubt. A fly ball, pop up.
And a number of them have landed in the outfield while the pitch was coming in. So here's Colvin. Colvin is 0 for 3. The 4, 5, and 6 slots in this lineup have not been on base tonight.
Yeah, I think if I was a Seagull, I'd be up on top of the glove out in left center. It's a good spot.
Colvin hits a high fly ball to the left. Granderson over, and that'll end the inning. So through 7 innings here at AT&T Park, it remains 4-3 New York.
And your division-leading Giants right here at the ballpark. Giants Father's Day gift pack will include tickets to the Father's Day necktie giveaway versus the Rockies on June 15th and a second game later in the season. 2 Giants games plus the necktie for Dad. Serious business. Go to sfgiants.com/mini-packs to purchase a special Father's Day gift pack.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Javier Lopez in for the Giants now. 24th time he's come in. Very nice season. Lefty's hitting a $179 off him. Sidearm specialist.
So Den Decker bluffs a bunt and he takes a strike. Murphy on deck, and then David Wright. Fouled off of Buster Posey. It's 0-2. So Lopez, the 4th Giants pitcher tonight. And this is rolled foul past Tim Tuffle. Oh, and 2. Again, down the left field line and out of play. $19 hits in this game, 20 stranded in this game. That's right. That's the kind of game it's been.
Well, it's kind of directly opposite of the type of game we saw last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside to Den Decker, 1-2. It was Nice and Kane last night. Tonight, Hudson and Cologne. 1-2. Pulled foul. Not really.
Hey, we have a bride-to-be, a bachelorette party tonight. She's leading the league of fun. There's the girls. Come to the yard, sit out in the bleachers. She's got the Giants logo on her bell. Gamer babe.
One and 2 to Matt Den Decker. Hit on the ground to Hicks, and Hicks will throw out Den Decker. 1 out.
Superhero with glasses. That's Glasses Man. What do you think?
I really don't want to see that guy again.
he's very powerful.
Here's Murphy. Murphy takes a strike, and it's 0-1. I mean, is there an age limit over and under, or when you should actually take this serious?
No. Not when you're coming to the yard. It's the all-star, anything goes.
Colvin on the move, and Colvin will track it down.
Oops, 2 outs.
That's all right. Colvin send that in the seats?
Yes, he did.
Did he? Yeah, nobody saw it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw it. We're good. Let's go hit. Okay, there you get that one. And
now what?
2 outs. Okay. My bad. This game.
Well, nobody saw it until you pointed it out.
This game will humble you.
Here's David Wright. Remember when Larry Walker did it at Dodger Stadium?
Yeah. With men on base.
With people on base, and he tried to get the ball back out of the stands.
It wasn't working. That's one of the best ones we ever saw.
Hey, give me the ball back. 1-1 to David Wright. Couple of extra inning games going on. Arizona, Atlanta, San Diego, and Washington. David Wright lines this one at his old teammate Angel Pagan, who puts it away, and that'll end the inning. Crawford hits, and then a pinch hitter. Game, as you would expect. Pre-game live will start at 12:30, and then we'll have the game for you right at the top of the hour, and it'll be the final game of the series against the Mets. This is the home of your San Francisco Giants, Comcast Sportsnet, and it'll be Zach Wheeler against Tim Lincecum. So Familia back out there, throwing now to Brandon Crawford. Crawford is 2 for 3. And he takes down low. Giants would love to get the leadoff hitter on here in the 8th.
Jeremy Affeldt finishing off his warm-up throws. He'll pitch the 9th inning.
And Crawford holds up, and it's down low. No swing on the appeal, 2-0.
Rob Drake, the third base umpire, making the no swing call.
Wound up hitting the right leg of Joe West, the plate umpire.
Joe's umpired so long he's lost the feeling in that leg.
All right, Joe, look out.
Huh? I heard it, but I didn't feel it.
It's 3-0.
You see the W on Joe West's chest. I mean, that's a West vest. That's a vest that he designed.
3-1.
And they're booing Joe West. I haven't seen too many belt high strikes all night.
Well, that's a fact. Joe probably not real happy that Crawford started to put the bat down, because that's really what caused the boos.
So 3-0 to a 3-2, and you're right. That may be his little message to Brandon Crawford, saying, "You get for making me look bad." And so 2 pitcher strikes, and now Crawford's got a 3-2 count.
And he taps his foul.
That was a nice, easy 98 coming off the slingshot of Familia.
So back to another 3-2 pitch. And Crawford lifts it to left for Granderson. 1 out. Don't forget to check out Sportsnet Central tonight after Giants postgame live right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Here's Hicks. Hicks is 0 for 3. Adrianza's on deck.
Slider's been a good pitch for Familia. And he's got a changeup, but we haven't seen it. It's been pretty much fastball slider.
And Hicks out swinging.
So again, he came back with a slider and really went right into the fat part of the strike zone. But Hicks could not do much with the location mistake.
So here's Adrianza. Adrianza sees 2 hits in his last 19 at bats. And he takes down low 1-0 with Pagan on deck.
I hope the Giants get some runs. I hope the Giants get some runs. I hope the Giants get some runs.
They got their pink gloves. They're ready to go. 1-0. Two balls and no strikes.
We have not yet seen the power of Adrianza. We saw it in spring training. He hit some monumental shots. And he's got plenty of pop.
Granderson moving back, and that'll end the inning. We'll go to the ninth. It's 4-3 New York. When it's time for a change thing, Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Jeremy Affeldt coming in now to pitch for Bruce Bochy. 23rd game that he's been in this year. 1-1 with a 1.40 ERA. And he has been very solid, very steady. And really has made a big difference in solidifying that Giants bullpen when he came off of the disabled list. Remember, he had a knee injury in spring training that delayed his start of the season, but since he's been active, he's been fantastic. Low 90 sink with big curveball and a split. $17 strikeouts in 19 1/3.
So Granderson is going to bat first here in the ninth. And Affeldt starts Granderson off with a strike. Granderson 0 for 3 with a walk.
That is just a bow locker right there. That's a big old curveball that just froze him. And speaking of Tampa Bay Rays, one of the Rays faithful out in the Cubby Cove just swimming around.
Breaking ball 1-2. Got him. Well, last night Jeremy Affeldt got the win, and he got it on his birthday. Big double play in that game.
I think that's pretty cool. Sure, get a win on your birthday.
Here's Campbell. Eric Campbell. Hitting at 289. And he bounces this one to Sandoval. 2 out. And that'll bring up Lucas Duda. For the Giants in the bottom of the ninth, they'll have the top of the order coming up. Overshift on now for Duda against Affel. And a big breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Affel's got a nice feel of that curveball tonight.
This time Duda started to go, but held up on that breaking ball down low, so that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Duda, Pac-12 guy out of SC. Lots of power.
And that breaking ball.
Well, time for our Honda player of the game. A week, Lucas Duda is that guy, and he continues his magic against Tim Hudson. Had good numbers against Hudson coming into this game. Added a couple of knocks. This one almost out of the ballpark here, about a third of the way up the right field wall. He's our Honda player of the game.
So here's Tejada. Tejada is 0 for 3. And Affel will check on Duda, who's not going anywhere. 4-3 Mets, 9th inning. And Tejada lifts this one through the Seagulls out to Hunter Pence. Wow. And that's going to end the inning. Pagan, Pence, Posey, Sandoval coming up.
It almost hit one. The pitcher now for the Mets will be their closer, Henry Mejia. Plenty of time that he's come in, and he's been perfect. 6 save opportunities. He has nailed them all down. 51 strikeouts against 25 walks in 49 2/3 innings. And when you take your at-bats against it, Mejia, you're going to see a fastball that's low 90s and a good hard curveball. That's his bread and butter. I mean, he's got a slider and a changeup, but you don't see him very much. Mejia was a starter early in his career. Then with the Mets, his whole professional career. But he has done a nice job since being named the closer of this Mets team.
Well, he's going to go after Pagan, Pence, and Posey. Taking a long time getting loose. So here's Pagan. Pagan, his last 3 at-bats have been singles. So right now the Giants looking for a base runner. Or 2. And a first pitch strike, and it's 0-1.
One to measure, one to rake. Take one to see the speed, the movement. That's pretty good location on a first pitch strike from Mejia.
And the breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
In both locations, right on that outside corner.
So now Pagan's got to fight. No balls and 2 strikes. And it's wide, 1-2.
Mejia, 24 years old, from the Dominican.
And now Pagan gets tired of waiting, so he steps out.
I don't think Mejia's in any hurry at all. If watching him throw his warm-up pitches was any indication.
1-2. And again.
Joe West does not play this game. But, I mean, you understand, there's a Pagan trying to control the rhythm of the at-bat.
How's this one out of play?
There was over a minute between pitches there.
So now Pagan is ready. And is Mejia ready? He is. And Pagan stays alive. Pagan picked up this hit in the 6th inning. It made it 4-3. Not going to bear. Right now just trying to get on base. Well, Pagan's going to ask for time here pretty soon. And he strikes out, and the throw to first is going to be offline, and he's safe.
Unbelievable.
It'll be a strikeout.
And the ball kicks away from Recker. Nice job of blocking that ball. Pagan takes off. Recker comes over, and he's really not balanced. He's kind of throwing it awkwardly. Throws wide of Duda, who cannot get back to the bag in time. That's a close play.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it. Pagan beat it.
He was safe.
So this replay review is presented by Xfinity.
This should be pretty quick. And they just replayed it on the big screen here. And you heard the roar.
Just take a vote.
Another look. They played another angle here. Every angle you're looking at, he's beating it. So now we should get confirmation here rather quickly, I would think. Meanwhile, nervous time at the Giants dugout. Now, that's a leadoff base runner getting on it with speed. The call stands. And that's Pat Hoberg, the first base umpire, making that call.
So here's Hunter Pence with the tying run at first base. And Pagan back easily. Pence tonight is 2 for 3. He had an infield hit in the 6th inning.
And in case you're thinking about Mejia, in 49 2/3 innings, has given up 6 home runs.
1 ball and no strikes. First pitch curveball to Hunter Pence.
I mean, Mejia was in the start rotation for a while. He's had 7 starts. Injuries have given him an opportunity as a closer.
Line drive, base hit down the left field line. Pagan on the move. Digging it out is Granderson. Here comes Pagan. Here's the throw. This game is tied. Hunter Pence ties it up with a double here in the 9th. How about that?
A fat fastball up above the belt, and he has just been punishing mistakes above the belt for the last 3 weeks. And this one comes at a huge time, and we got a brand new ball game, folks.
Here's Buster Posey. And Buster Posey with a swing and a miss. He also got a breaking ball on the first pitch.
That's closer. Bobby Parnell went down to injury. And Mejia assumed the responsibility, and this is his first blown save.
Curveball hit well to left. Tagging is Pence. He's going to go to third, and he's going to make it.
Giants will challenge Granderson's arm any day of the week. He does not have a good arm. And this was all talked about before the series started. They were going to challenge. And when this ball got back to the wall, you saw Hunter Pence identify the depth of the play, went right back to the bag, And Granderson does not have the arm strength to do much about it. So a productive out.
Well, there's no way they're going to let Sandoval hit.
No.
I mean, that's not going to happen. And who knows, maybe not even Morris. So they will walk Sandoval intentionally.
It's great to watch Hunter Pence at third base. He'll come down that line and anticipate a wild pitch, every pitch from Mejia. And it's a tip for all you young players watching. Anticipate, because you never know when the opportunity will present itself.
Also, Sandoval's ready to hit.
Get ready to hit, indeed.
Plus, it doesn't look like Mejia's all that comfortable making these pitches way off the plate. So there's the walk to Sandoval. And here's Morris. And Morris does not have a hit in 4 at-bats. He struck out twice. Dan Worthen, the pitching coach, is coming out.
Well, he's just going to stall for time. They got the left-hander down there, Josh Edgett. And he's thinking about Tyler Coleman. Now, I don't know if the Mets are going to throw to Michael Morse or not. But I do know that if the game gets to Coleman, you're going to see Edgett. And all Danny Worthen is doing is just stalling to get Edgett some throws to get that arm loose.
Now, what they'll play for if they're pitching to Morris is for the double play, which means they're not going to be able to play that infield all the way in.
Now, the one thing, he has got 25 walks in 50 innings. And I don't know if they want to load the bases against him here.
Outfield comes in very shallow.
I think you're right. They're going to set the middle of the infield at double play depth. And they're going to go at Morris.
Now they figure on a ground ball, they're just going to automatically go for 2. So here's Morris. And this game is over. On one pitch, Michael Morris knocks in the game-winning run.
All they do is win.
Strikeout and a wild pitch started it off here in the 9th, and the Giants go on to score 2, and they pick up their 41st win of the year. They're now 20 games over 500, and the hero is Michael Moore. There's a lot of heroes tonight, but he gets the last hit to knock in the winning run.
It's just amazing how they are so resilient and how it's even distribution of heroes up and down that lineup. And let's take a look at the one pitch he got. A fastball in and out. And he's thinking right field. And there's the reward. And it's time to celebrate. That's it. Played the infield way shallow. And then nothing they could do.
That's the longest single of the year.
Indeed.
And for Morris, his 42nd RBI, his first hit of the night. And the Giants will win this one. All right, let's check in with Amy G, and she's got a guess.
Yeah, I Mike got the hero of the game, and Dwayne just said it. That's the longest single he's ever seen. Your first hit of the night, and it's a walk-off. Just take us through your mentality going up to the plate.
Man, I was having a tough night. I just tried to stay short. Put the ball in play, don't think too much, and we fought hard, man. These guys fought hard, and just keep calm.
Couple of key players in tonight's game. Angel Pagan getting it done, putting you guys within reach in the sixth with knocking in a couple pair. Just what does he mean to this team as the leadoff guy, constantly getting done what the situation calls for?
It's awesome, man. He's done it all year. He's a table setter, and when he's going, we go. So Angel's a big part of this team, and he's a big part of the reason why we're winning.
I wanted to ask you also about Crawford and Hicks. Having that strength in the bottom of your lineup, you guys have so much depth, and those are not easy spots to hit. And what have they meant to you guys?
Man, the Brandons, man, they're awesome. Not only are they hitting, but they're doing tremendous plays in the field, and day in and day out. So it's part of this winning team we got going here. It's amazing.
You and I talked before the game about the new T-shirt, "May the Morse be with you," and you said winning teams do quirky things. You guys are pretty quirky right now.
Yeah, we're quirky.
All right, congratulations, Michael Morse. Dwayne and Mike, let's get up to you.
All right. Well, we mentioned that there are a lot of heroes, and I do want to mention that Contos did give up a run in the sixth, but in order to win games like this, you got to have shutdown innings. And they had shutdown innings in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it really enables them to come back and win.
Amazing. 4th Giants walk-off win. That's the first hit by Michael Morse to provide a walk-off victory. All they do is win, and it's a different story every night as to how they're going to do it. And I want to go back to the one thing that happened early in the game, the first 5 innings. I mean, Tim Hudson didn't have it tonight, and he fought through 5 innings. I mean, 99 pitches that he threw, 81 of them were out of the stretch. It was a battle, but he kept it close. And if you can do that with this offense, they'll find a way to come back and eventually win. It's been amazing what we've been witness here the first 62 of the games of the season. Tonight, just another chapter of a great 2014.
And the winning pitcher is Jeremy Affeldt, and he wins on a night where he donated his salary to the Not For Sale Foundation. Final score: the Giants 5, the Mets 4. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews, and the wrap is coming up. But first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio.